I know a lot of Mormons, so when I come here, I interact with a lot of Mormons. I know a lot of kind of counterculture, fringe type people who are just as proud and virulent of their culture. So, both of those extremes seem to commingle in this place with great confidence, and it makes me feel like, you know, you can go anywhere and be with anyone.
I want to test the age group in the audience. Who loves eating Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Come on, stop talking and start fighting. Let's go, Mikey. Just so you know, this is not a spoiler. Well, no, this is not a spoiler because it was announced at the other con in San Diego, the other Comic-Con. They're the ones who kicked us off. So maybe for another generation shouldn't drive anymore. What was I going to say? There was Turtles. Oh, right. They announced that Raphael, my character, whose colored bandana is whoever that 9-year-old was, you're absolutely right. He gets a girlfriend. I'm not releasing anything they haven't said because I was there. So her name is Mona Lisa, and she's played by Robin Williams' daughter Zelda. I cannot divulge if there is a kissing scene.
Now let's test the other age group. How many of us love him for Goonies? But maybe the role that he was born to play, to be, to honor all the kindness and all the goodness in the world. How many of us love him for Samwise?
Since those movies came out, since the first one came out. And everywhere I go around the world, there are adoring fans of Tolkien's work and people who have been moved and affected by the movies and the stories and characters, people who love Samwise Gamgee, you know, talk about the ways in which he's, you know, a hero with the story, and see how diplomatically I put that. But this is like, you know, back in the day. You know, if there aren't 10,000 people throwing stuff at you, you haven't woken up that morning.
And how many of us love his charity work where he played the title role in Rudy?
I don't know, I got 200 of these made up from each of them, but there's more than 200 people here, more than 400 people here.
Yeah, about 5,000 people.
Wow. So, thank you by the way for bringing me this. We just cooked these things up. Oh, should I talk about these now or later? Yeah? Okay, so, can you turn the lights on?
Turn the lights up a little bit so we can see the audience.
Honestly, you know what? I need to take a picture of this. Seriously. Hold on, this is crazy. Okay, so just so you guys know, that was a panorama photograph. Now let's do a video. 3 daughters. The oldest one's off to college, so my wife and 2 daughters are with home. Actually, I'll text it to my oldest daughter and be like, I'm not as lame as you think. My 13-year-old will say, did they know it was you? So, in 15 days, I'll be thinking about you all as I compete in the 140.6 mile test that is the Ironman Championship triathlon. It's 17 hours long. Or at least you have to do it in 17 hours. I hope I do it in 15 and a half, 16, but it's plenty of time to think about you. Trying to recall individual faces in the crowd, you know. So I have a, so one of these little postcard things that I just had a couple hundred of them made, it's for my charity. I'm running for my charity. Does anybody know what my Run Third campaign is? Do you guys know about Run Third? Okay, so I run first for myself. Like if you say, like, why do you go for runs? Like, man, it keeps me physically fit. It's good mental health hygiene. I feel better. I'm a better person. I'm nicer to be around. I'm just, you know, when you're fit, everything's good. So I run for myself. It's my time of solitude to reflect, to think, and just be at one with nature. And I've run here a bunch. I've run all over Salt Lake City. All over. There's some great roads that you can go on. There's like a housing, like nice community up there, and there's a factory over there and stuff. But anyhow, and then if you say, well, who else do you run for? I'd say, well, I run for my wife and children. Okay. Christine, we've been married 24 years. I was telling somebody in line that she had 18 months to wise up before we got married, so she stuck with me. And then we have our 3 daughters, Allie, who's 18 and just started Harvard. Got that from her mother. So that's Allie, and then Elizabeth is 13, and Bella is 10. So, and they were all here 4th of July last year. We were all in Salt Lake City, and they were dressed up as, I don't know, not orcs. They were dressed up as, I don't know, princesses. I don't know. It's hard to keep up. Not hobbits. Allie was a hobbit. Okay. I have so many different things to share. Anyhow, so I run third. If I was going to dedicate a run, like when I do countless 10Ks and 5Ks, I've done dozens and dozens of half marathons. I've run 10 full marathons. And since 2012, I've been dedicating my runs. And I dedicate them, I run third for you. So if you're on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, you can do hashtag RUN3RD. Wait, hold on. That's actually the medal from our inaugural 5K that was in Mesa, Arizona. And basically what Run Third, it took years, but now we're actually turning it into a formal charity, and we're taking money in and we're supporting after-school running programs, elementary school after-school running programs. If you've ever seen a little kid who didn't have anything to do in an afternoon, their parents are working or they just didn't have any structured activity, and a coach or a friend or somebody says, hey, let's put together a little group, let's go for a run, and you see 3 or 5 or 10 people going for a run together at 3 in the afternoon or 3:30, 4 o'clock, and when they finish, it's a different world. And so we take this Run Third idea, we put it into their lesson plans. So you've got these 4th and 5th graders, 6th graders writing, you know, what does the idea of running for someone else mean? And then they go home to their friends or family, loved ones, causes they believe in, and they decide who they're going to dedicate their run to, and then they wear that on their back. So on race day, they get the medal, which is awesome. They get a t-shirt, which is awesome. They run in a 5K, 3.1 mile race, which is awesome, with their teachers, and the mayor was there, and they had, you know, it was an event. There's news there, and they were so excited about it. And then, but that's not the thing that means the most to them. What means the most to them is that they were running for their abuelita, or they were running for their cousin who just got back from Iraq, or they're running for whoever. Or they're running, they know somebody who has breast cancer, their aunt or somebody, and they're running for them. So they stand taller. They stand taller, and there's something important. Now they're members of their community. They're not going and asking other people for stuff. They're wanting to give something. And they have something to give, their footsteps, their heart, their life. The fact that they're alive. So I have 200 of these things. Raise your hand if you think you want. It's a GoFundMe campaign. Raise your hand if you think you want to donate to it. Yeah, there's a few. Okay, wait, hold on. Let's hold on. Do we have somebody who can hand them out?
Do we have a runner back there that can come and grab some of these and hand them out? We'll do it at the end. We'll grab some.
No. Well, they're just sitting there. You gotta get one. They're sitting there. Alicia Debbie's out there. It's like, okay. So that's one. The other one is I'm running 2 of these campaigns, and the reason I didn't run third one now is because Iron Man, who invited me to do the Run Through 5K. Oh, sorry, who invited me to do the Iron Man in Kona. They're giving $25,000 to the charity. So they're like, hey, you should use this platform. All right, raise your hand. How many people are going to hand those out? I'm going to try to make this easy for you. No, I know, but I want people to raise their hands and say who they think they'll actually do it, because it's got the thing on there. So hand it to the folks there. There you go. Okay, so the other one that I started before that is my pet project. It kind of goes towards the Lord of the Rings theme here. It's called Sean Reads Aloud, and it's a subscription series that I'm starting, because I love reading, and I love reading loud, and I love reading books. So the idea is that you all are going to pay me, and then I'm going to, my wife, the Sean and Christine Astin Literacy Scholarship Fund, we're going to hand out scholarships, and I'm going to read classics. Right now we're going to start with things in the public domain until the thing starts generating money, and then maybe we can get The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, and other readings. So the first, I read a full book as a teaser called My Father's Dragon by Ruth Salskin. I also read the first chapters of Peter Pan, The Time Machine, and Treasure Island. So if you go on to the GoFundMe.com/Sean Reads thing, you can actually listen to a chapter and see. And I basically did them like sitting in my bedroom, pushing record on the computer, and something like that.
So if you love Sean playing everybody's best friend, he can be your best friend and read you books.
Or your father, or your teacher, or your coach, or your prison convict, or nothing better to do this time. Whatever. All right, go ahead. You get a question now. I'm sorry, monopoly. Forever strong, Kia ha. Forever strong. Rugby movie.
So if you have never played Iron Man, but you're going to on October 10 be Iron Man, but are there any roles? What's your dream role? What do you wish that someone would cast you as?
I've gotten to play. So, I played Two Flower in The Color of Magic. We just lost Terry Pratchett this year, which is sad. He's a gorgeous, brilliant writer. We wrote 17 books in the Discworld series and another 20 or more books after that, or more, I don't know. So there's actually a color magic. That's one of my favorite parts, is Two Flower, who's the first tourist to the Discworld. He had a picture box. So if you wanted to take a picture of the crowd, you would go like this. And inside, a little imp would be drawing, like trying to catch it. I need more cyan! Like that kind of thing. So, yeah. I always read the prologue a lot, so we have time. But I don't know, play a sniper, like an assassin, that'd be fun. Or like a western, moody western, where every man has to come to the aid of town. I don't know, I don't care. I'm like, I'm ready to go. You know what acting is? I feel like I'm in a bullpen, like a pitcher's bullpen in a baseball court, and I'm just waiting for somebody to call my number and say like, oh, now you're gonna play Doug in 50 First Dates, who do you think? Honestly, I would not have, Adam just called me, I just did another Adam Sandler movie, and my fourth Christian movie is coming out in October. It's called Woodlawn, October 16th, Woodlawn. It's a wonderful civil rights era story, Birmingham, Alabama, 1973, the story of Tony Nathan, NFL great. I play a chaplain who comes in and gets the football team to basically, declare their love of Christ and how that affects their team and how they get along and their nemesis team across town. And it's a true story. It's right during what they call the Jesus Freak movement, when like Time magazine had this kind of psychedelic image of Jesus on the cover, and Billy Graham was filling up the Cotton Bowl with people. It's an evangelical thing. So like, did that on Thursday. On Friday I go down to the South with Adam Sandler and do stuff that's decidedly not a Christian movie. So, I will, you gotta pay me. That's a professional actor, you gotta pay an actor. But I'm willing to, unless there's a student film I wanna do, I do student films sometimes. But, because you gotta get back. But, whatever, what do you wanna do?
So just make sure you raise the money. Well, let's open up some questions to some of your parents. Yeah, Goonies 2. Do we still have hope for Goonies 2?
Oh, there's always hope while the fellowship is true. You notice how the Goonies and the fellowship are kind of, anyhow. So, is there hope? Of course there's hope. I have proclaimed that 100% without fail, it is a mortal lock that there will be a Goonies sequel. I don't know if I'll be alive when they do it.
He's doing all the Christian movies to try and get some help.
Yeah, it's about what it's going to take.
Well, but let's open it up to the line here. We'll ask our questions.
Hi, Sean. My name's Brandon. Thanks for being here. My question is really just, I think the best, most emotional scene out of the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy. So when Sam was Frodo on his back, carries him up Mount Doom, Oscar for winning in my opinion, but it did. What was your headspace getting into that scene? What was the lead up to that? How did you prepare for it? Was the emotion on set about as impactful as it was for most of everyone in the audience? Because I think that's the capstone of that series in my personal opinion.
Well, I appreciate that. Tolkien loved Sam. For Tolkien, Sam was, in a lot of ways, the heart of the story. Frodo says the Shire has been saved, but not for me. Well, it has been saved for Sam and other agrarian, peace-loving, ale-drinking, song-singing, children-making people. So, and in that scene, and he's like, do you remember the Shire, Mr. Frodo? It'll be springtime soon, the birds will be nesting in the hazel thickets, it'll be eating the first of the strawberries and cream and that whole thing. Okay, so that's what they're fighting for. So I remember when we were doing rehearsals in the 6 weeks before filming, and we were in Peter's house. Peter Jackson was there, the four hobbits. I don't know if there's more people in the one little den area where we were talking a lot about it. But I remember him saying, well, I don't want there to be a lot of Sam in the first one. I might as well have just carved out my guts with a knife. I was just like, oh right, yeah. Save it for 2002, 3 years from now. Make a living somehow between the two. People didn't know if it would do well. Anyhow, so there was an awful lot sitting around. Walking across the Shire, walking across Mordor, or walking across the Shire, or walking. Every now and then you got to Bree and there was a fight, or you'd get to like a Rivendell and there were elves. That was kind of cool, but then it was back to walking across the Shire. We did a lot of walking, a lot of thinking. The Council of Elrond, where's Samwise? It doesn't matter. At the end, he's not going anywhere without me, but for the 2 weeks they were filming the actual scene, I was sitting in my dressing room reading The Hobbit, So we get out to Mount Ruapehu, where we were staying, and part of the time we were staying at the Powderhorn, which is like a ski lodge. Wood panel things. It was like everything felt like a sauna, and we would watch dailies of the previous day's work, which was like in couches in their room, the like conferencing room type thing. It was just awesome. It was like you're on. You'd go with your friends who go on a ski trip to this place. The lodge was so cool, and we were there, and we were making a movie, which is even cooler than a ski trip. And then we went up Ruapehu, which is in the center of the North Island, not too far from Lake Taupo, and it's an active volcano, burping and spewing and smelling sulfur, you know, black. It only erupted like 30 years ago. Are you sure it's going to be okay, volcano? And we were staying at the Grand Chateau. I think that's what it was called. Haunted.
What are the Rams fans?
Well, you know, and somehow the cannabis club was in town. So like, we had I had my 3-year-old daughter, Allie, with me at the time, and the one who just started Harvard, so that's capturing the passage of time for you. For me, life flashing in front of your eyes. So basically, like everywhere you walk, you're like, I think we need to like go out on that little golf course because Allie is going to be subjected to all this pot smoke, and it's like not a good idea. Like in your room, it's like, and then people weren't scared of ghosts. Anyhow, so that's where our headspace was. You know, it was just a pod and the like little golf course where you know you could take a broken club out and play. It wasn't like a golf course. It was like 3 holes on the grounds of the spooky mansion that we were staying in. We get in the car. Now I knew that Samwise gets to carry Frodo up the hill, but I didn't remember the dialogue. I was just like in the surviving everyday mode for a long time. And I woke up and we get in the car and we got the sides. The sides are the miniature versions of the script. And I don't think I've ever told this story like this before in 15 years. So you get to see just what the scenes for the day are. And like every actor, the first thing I did was like look to see if Sam was in it. And I was like, ooh, another Sam line. Like, I would be excited if one night of all-night shooting I got to say, get down! Like, that was a week's worth of joy right there. And then Roisin Cartier, dialect coach, was like, Sean, that one went a bit, get down! Like, oh, sorry, get down. So I started reading this language, and I was so excited. I like really had a proper scene to play. And I'm looking at it, and then I'm starting to get scared. Like, I really worked on this. I'm not ready. And the van is getting up to the top of the thing, and then you get out of the van, you get in the sport utility vehicle, and you get to the top of the thing, and then you start hiking to the top of the whatever. And I'm doing the lines over and over and over again. And Elijah's there, and the two of us are there, and I'm like, hey, you want to run the scene together? Which you do a few times. Yeah, sure. He didn't have any lines. But he was nice enough to listen to me all 5,000 times I was running it. And then, so now it didn't take very long to memorize it, to actually properly memorize it. I had it right there. But the poetry of the language was so good, I wanted to do it over and over again. And I kept doing it. And then I started to get this nervous feeling, like we're gonna shoot it, and then it'll be over. And I won't get to keep doing it. So I wanted to keep doing it all, and hopefully we'll shoot it after lunch so I can be doing it all during lunch. And I just did it over and over and over again. At one point, Elijah was like, you got it. So we go for our hike along the top of the volcano ridge, which was hilarious because they weren't, like, the technology was evolving the whole time. There was, at a certain point, they didn't need a green screen or a blue screen. They just filmed whatever they want, and they knew they'd replace whatever they wanted digitally. Well, it used to be like, you can't have anything overlapping the green screen, and the way the green screen was lit would take 12 hours just to get it exactly right, and then you couldn't look and your eye line had to be at a certain thing. It was like a very constricted process, even at the beginning of the films. By the middle of the films, fighting Shelob, you're in the cave, do the fight scene. Wherever the spider is supposed to be, the spider's supposed to be, and it'll be there. They had brought in this terrible-looking Goonies octopus-style spider. Right? Yeah, exactly. It was terrible. It was terrible. And you knew they'd never use it, but the effects guys wanted to be prepared in case they needed to see like one limb with the spindly things. Anyhow, so we're walking up on the volcano, and like across the valley, you could see the special effects team setting up a little bit of green screen. You're like, what is that gonna do? Are they gonna have to like photograph it in a way where like we're in the foreground but they can't see anything else other than the green screen behind us? Because like, why not just shoot it in a parking lot like we did some of the other stuff, parking lot. So you would be like, really? That was in the parking lot? So it was like the back lot of Universal without the water tower and the sun. But basically, so they had all these pots set up with the smoke, and they were meant to be the smoke coming up. And somehow, by the time we got to it, it was the end of the day. And this is what always happens. And when it comes time to do your bit, there's like no time left. So it's always like that. It's always like that. They'll wait for 3 hours for the guy who's trimming the hedges next door to get bribed off to like turn the thing off so the sound will work. And then 2 seconds to do the 5-page sheet. You know, so basically they had 2 cameras set up. I'm cradling, there wasn't much like choreographing it, you know, staging it. It was basically what it was supposed to be. And at a certain point, as the light is fading, Peter's like, go. And the truth is that the characters were so ingrained in us after the many months of filming that we've been shooting. We were the characters. You didn't need to rehearse for a second. You've been living it every day, 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. By the time we did that, it was probably at least 6 months in. Every day with the feet, every day with the clothes, every day with the makeup and the ears and the hair, every day with the sword, every day with the backpack, up and down and waiting, and, you know, and being surrounded by these other incredible actors. You know, today it's Ian McKellen, tomorrow it's Kate Blanchett, the next day it's, you know, whoever it was. Even then, you know, Andy Serkis had just gotten there. He was opening up a can of beans on gum. And so that was like this new energy that came at us. Anyhow, so we started doing it. It was incredible. It was incredible, the language. I just graduated with a degree in history and American literature and culture from UCLA. And so I was, go Bruins. So I was trained to hear the music and the language. I was primed to know how to explicate the poetry. And to what end? For what purpose do we do this? This was an incredible ascension as a student to a performer. And I did it sobbing. Elijah sobbing, his eyes are supposed to be closed, the wheel of fire is turning and he's crying and this thing. Peter Jackson, the stoic, rudder, the visionary, composed, always prepared, jolly, never a shred of tension visible on him, comes around from the monitor, tears streaming around his face. This is a guy who said to me at one point, after I did a line of dialogue, he comes over and he goes, on another day, months earlier, he said, but she didn't believe that. Well, again, ripped my guts out. He was good at gut ripping. He said, you should put that on his resume. I know how to rip an actor's guts out. So he had tears streaming down his face. And he looked and he just was like,